this is Madison Kessler, and welcome back to Virus Valley Girl, your go-to virus talk show. I'm so excited to announce our special guest today, which many of you may be familiar with if you know what I mean. HPV. She's going to talk about her life today before and after she met her nemesis, Gardasil, Gardasil 9, and Cervarix. Unfortunately, these vaccines can't make it today because they're busy at work, but if you want to see them on the show in the future, just head over to our Facebook page and let me know. Without further ado, here's HPV herself.
Thank you so much for having me on the show today. It truly is an honor. Also, thank you for including such a lovely picture of me. It's clearly my best angle. I'll start by giving everyone a little background about me. My full name is human papillomavirus, but many people call me HPV. I'm a sexually transmitted infection that can lead to cancer in both females and males. My favorite types of cancer to cause are cervical, vaginal, penile, anal, and oral. I'm the most common STI in the United States, and 85% of people will contract me at some point in their lifetime. I do have to brag a little bit because in 2018, I caused 43 million HPV infections. It was a very busy year. I have over 100 different strains, but the cancer-causing high-risk strains are types 16 and 18, which causes 70% of all cervical cancers and 84% of all anal cancers. The genital warts causing low-risk strains includes types 6 and 11, which causes 90% of all genital warts. I love the squamous epithelial cells, which are found on the surface of the skin and mucosal linings. When I infect people, they're usually asymptomatic, but the most common symptoms I cause are either cutaneous warts or mucosal warts. I'm also very proud to say there's no cure for me to this day. When individuals, regardless of sexual orientation, have skin-to-skin contact during vaginal, anal, or oral sex, I can cause an infection. I enter through tiny cuts around or in the skin of the vagina, penis, throat, or anus. I go down to the cells in the basal layer of skin and infect them. The cells that I infect divide, which allows me to make copies of myself and move up through the skin layers and release new viral particles to spread the infection to other cells. For most people, their immune cells can destroy the affected cells and also destroy me, but for some people, their immune system can't do this, so I can continue to infect. If the cells are infected with low-risk strains, genital warts form, and high-risk strains can cause precancerous cells. Now that I've given a little background about myself, I guess I should talk about my nemesis that ruined my life. Looking at that picture just makes me sick. The HPV vaccine is recommended for individuals 11 or 12 years of age to ensure protection before sexual activity or exposure to the virus. If this wasn't enough, the vaccine can be given earliest at the age of 9 and as late as the age of 45. If the first dose is given before the age of 15, 2 doses 6 to 12 months apart are sufficient. After the age of 15, 3 doses, with the second dose given 1 to 2 months after the first dose, and the third dose given 6 months after the first dose, are sufficient. The first nemesis of mine was created in 2006 and goes by the name Gardasil. He targets types 6, 11, 16, and 18. My next nemesis was created in 2009 and goes by the name Cervarix. She targets types 16 and 18. I thought I had won our battle when Cervarix was discontinued from the US in 2016 and Gardasil was discontinued in the US in 2017, but it turns out that those darn scientists created a more efficient nemesis in 2014 named Gardasil 9. He targets types 6, 11, 16, 18, 31, 33, 45, 52, and 58, and is the only HPV vaccine available in the US since it protects against 2 low-risk types and 7 high-risk types. Since I'm from the US, I'm going to talk more in depth about the Gardasil 9 vaccine, since he has been the one personally attacking me. Gardasil 9 is a non-infectious recombinant vaccine made from purified virus-like particles of my major L1 capsid protein from types 9, 11, 16, 18, 31, 33, 45, 52, and 58, as well as an adjuvant, amorphous aluminum hydroxyphosphate sulfate, that triggers the innate immune response. It's administered intramuscularly to the deltoid region of the upper arm. The vaccine injects my dead proteins into the bloodstream, but this isn't capable of causing infection, only stimulating the immune cells to create antibodies for my proteins. Since this is a preventative vaccine, it mainly focuses on producing antibodies to fight me. The vaccine injects the virus-like particles into the bloodstream. Dendritic cells, which are antigen-presenting cells, phagocytose and present the virus-like particles on an MHC class II molecule to CD4 plus T helper cells and secondary lymphoid tissue. These CD4 plus T helper cells will recognize the virus-like particle and undergo proliferation and differentiation into effector T cells that will interact with the naive B cells and produce Th2 cytokines, which include IL-4, IL-5, IL-6, IL-9, IL-10, and IL-13 to mature the B cells. The naive B cells then proliferate and differentiate into plasma cells, which produce specific antibodies for the virus-like particles found in the vaccine, or they will produce memory B and memory T cells. These memory B and memory T cells will stay in the person's bone marrow for a long time and can differentiate into plasma cells or activated T cells upon reinfection later in life. Even though the vaccine is geared towards adaptive immunity, there's still the innate immune system that can initially trigger an effective immune response against me. In the squamous epithelium, Langerhans cells phagocytose and present antigens to B and T cells. The Langerhans cells utilize their toll-like receptors, MHC class II molecules, chemokines, and cytokines to present the antigen to the T cell. The activation of toll-like receptors elicits a pro-inflammatory response that promotes innate immunity. My double-stranded DNA is then recognized by TLR9, and a cascade of INF-alpha, INF-beta, and INF-gamma is initiated. Macrophages are also able to phagocytose me and secrete pro-inflammatory cytokines TNF-alpha and IL-17. Natural killer cells are also able to respond quickly to the cells I infect without requiring any type of presentation and kill them. Even though the innate immune system can effectively kill me, I have my ways to evade immune surveillance and downregulate its cells' functions, which, unfortunately for me, is where the vaccine comes in handy for people. Again, I want to thank y'all so much for having me on the show, and I hope today could shed some light on the difficulties that I'm dealing with. But at the same time, I understand why y'all want to get rid of me, but so far that's not going to happen. Follow me on my Instagram and Facebook accounts if you want to know more about my life.